In today's tutorial, I'm going to show you how to screen print wet on white shirts. Coming up. Welcome back. If you're new to the channel, be sure to subscribe. I've been getting a lot of questions about how to screen print wet on wet. We have an example on press, and we're screen printing on white shirts, wet on wet, 5 colors, and I'm going to show you exactly how it works. So I'm going to take my white t-shirt, I'm going to load it up on press, and then I'm going to walk you around the press and just show you exactly how this works. Okay, this is the back of our design. This is just a test t-shirt. Looks like we have a little bit of ink on it, but I think this will work just fine for the example. Just keep in mind that this will work the same for a manual press or an automatic. Same concept, the only difference is with an automatic, you're not having to pull the squeegees yourself and you're going to get more consistent results. All right, so we got our colors turned on. I'm gonna start the press, hit begin, and then our press is gonna rotate. And since we're just doing this one, I'm gonna hit in production. So here is our first color. It is a mono blue, and we're going to hit this a couple times. And then we'll move on to our golden yellow. That will be hit a couple times as well. Keep in mind there is no flash needed, so our flash is completely off. It's going to be all wet on wet. We don't have anything going on. I wanted to keep as many screens as close to the front of the press as possible so I could keep an eye on heat levels. So here's our red going down. And you can see on the back of the screens where the ink is building up. And you want that. You want that ink to build up. And our last color, we have a royal blue. Again, you can see the ink colors building up on the back of the press. The main thing to get right is your registration, making sure that there's no gaps in between your colors. And with this particular color, what we did is we put a little bit of a stroke just on the yellow. Same thing over here. We put a little bit of a stroke on the yellow, and then the rest, they don't really butt up. But however, you still need to make sure your registration is nice and tight. And there's really not a whole lot to wet on wet printing. However, you do want to use a higher mesh screen. So we are using 230s all the way around on this job, and we're not using a ton of pressure, just enough pressure so that way the ink sits on top of the garment and doesn't necessarily go through the garment. If you're using a lower mesh, such as a 110 or 156, you're going to have more issues. Your ink is going to puddle up on the back of your screens, and it will make it that much more difficult. So the key here is just consistency and using a higher mesh, such as a 200, 195, or in this case, a 230. We prefer 230s. And you can see as I pull this shirt up, the ink is not soaking through the back. I know it's a white shirt and you can see the print on the inside, but it's not completely soaked through. Again, this is just going to depend on your garment type, how much ink actually does end up passing through your t-shirt. We're just taking a real quick look underneath the screens. You can see the red built up. You can see the yellow as well on the last screen. You tend to want to do your darkest colors first. However, also something else to keep in mind is you want to use your smaller images first on up to your bigger images. But in this case, what I was really doing was registering everything up to this blue. Which is over here on station number 2, but it's the first color that goes down. And then we're doing our yellow. Some of the issues that can come up doing it this method is this blue can come up into your yellow. However, we did not have that happen in this particular situation, so we just moved forward with the order. We did about 84 shirts and everything came out great. If you're interested in learning how to screen print wet on dark garments with a white base, be sure to check out our video here. Or is it here? It's one of these 2 locations. I'll leave a link there where we have many examples. But I will also do a tutorial on how to print wet on top of white base for color or dark garments. Thanks for tuning in, I really appreciate it. If you're new to the channel, be sure to subscribe. Check out some of our other screen printing videos. If you have any questions, leave them down in a comment. Until next time, we'll see you guys later.